On the last episode of Let's Connect, we connected this war to this war, and we did it by looking at the historical use of clemency powers, specifically how they were used after World War I to pardon people who'd been incarcerated under the Espionage and Sedition Acts of 1918, and how they could be used today to release tens of thousands of Americans who've been put in jail for drug-related charges. And granting clemency to prisoners serving onerous sentences set during the war on drugs is just one step to ending this failed, half-century-long war. Here are other steps the Biden administration could take.
One of the first steps that can be done is to declare to end the war on drugs. President Biden must clearly acknowledge that it's been a failed policy and it's failed to make the country safe. It's failed to make folks healthy. And most importantly, at some point you have to declare that it's over. One of the steps that can be taken is to direct the Department of Justice to divert resources away from the war on drugs worst policies. Going forward, a lot of harm can be avoided if the Department of Justice just shifts its priorities. President Biden must ensure that federal prosecutors use their discretion in a manner that is consistent with the goals of reducing incarceration, promoting alternatives to criminalization, and supporting the establishment of robust harm reduction programs. He must begin to order the Attorney General to ensure that federal prosecutors stop charging people with drug offenses that trigger mandatory minimum sentences, stop prosecuting marijuana offenses, stop charging people with simple drug possessions, and at some point we have to advocate for sentences that don't punish folks for crack cocaine. For decades, people have been sentenced differently for crack cocaine as they have for powder cocaine. And those differences, that disparity is race-related. One of the fastest ways for President Biden to end the war on drugs is by using the power of clemency. And so we're urging you to urge President Biden to use that power of clemency to not only end the war on drugs, but to release people who are incarcerated for drugs. This work can't be done without you, and we appreciate your help.
Subscribe to our channel and follow along as we continue with our Let's Connect series, connecting you with interesting history, current events, and the civil rights and civil liberties issues our country is facing right now.